Hi, I'm Natasha Slayton, and you're watching my episode of LipRoll with Valerie Morehouse.
Hey guys, welcome to LipRoll. I am your host, Valerie Morehouse.
I'm your co-host, Ella London.
And I am the guest host, Annie Bosko.
Hi, Annie.
Hi, Annie.
We have a guest host.
And I am so excited because look what color you're
I know.
wearing.
What happened?
We're going bananas today.
I didn't get the memo, clearly. I'm in like hunter green or whatever you want to call that.
Well, hey, you really fit our set well, and then we're like this desert sun coming in,
Next time, we'll just all
You're
wear
army
yellow.
green because you're like our
Soldier?
Yeah, you're like
Yeah,
our soldier
a leader.
that's leading us, but more like not a soldier. Like what would it be? A colonel?
Like
Yeah,
a
I'm really
warrior?
bad at
Like
this.
I don't know these military terms, but she's got a lot of stripes
What is
on
the
her shoulders or
military
whatever
term
it
for the
is.
General?
leader?
The
Yes,
leader,
you're the
general.
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 Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. See?
Yeah, we're the beams
Brilliant.
of sunshine.
Yes.
Well, I'm really excited also today, not only to have you on, but we also have a really amazing guest.
Yes,
Who is
Natasha Slayton. We are ding, ding, ding. Yeah, we've been trying to get her on for a while. She's kind of an interesting. I met her through a girl group called G.R.L.
Yeah,
that
cool.
was sort of a. It was started by Robin Anton and who did the Pussycat Dolls rather, and just she's a really interesting, fun girl. So
Definitely. Yeah, I'm really excited for this conversation. So I think I should jump out of here, let you guys get started, and we can all take a listen.
Natasha Slayton.
Hi, Valerie.
Welcome to LipRoll.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you today, and so I'm also excited for my guest host, Annie Bosko.
Oh, girl power.
Hi, yes.
Love
Girl
it.
power.
G.R.L. power.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, our listeners are like, "What's GRL?"
I know, right?
Although, so tell us a little bit, since Annie brought that up, GRL, and kind of how we met.
Okay, so I was in a girl group called G.R.L, which was created by the creator of the Pussycat Dolls, Robin
Right.
Anton, and we were managed by Larry Rudolph and Robin, and I think Larry sent us to you, or Larry's team, because
Yeah,
Dan.
so that's Reindeer Entertainment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and so we came to you, and our lives were changed.
Wow.
I never stopped coming to you.
I know, it's
Yeah.
been totally cool.
Yeah.
And so the one thing that's really cool is that we're all singers.
Yeah.
So we had another interview here early on and we were all singers. So we got to sort of rap about that and all of our different experiences. So Natasha, how did you, there's a lot that I know and a lot that I don't know,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool, but how did you start singing?
I started
Because
singing.
you're a dancer primarily, right?
No. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Like, it seems like I'm a dancer primarily because I'm like so terrified of cameras that I don't post anything of me singing because that like requires the camera to be like
Right.
a lot closer.
And on you?
Yeah,
at
even, like,
all
getting
times.
shots
Yeah. She's like,
I
I'm
can't even,
I'm getting very
I can't even
verklempt.
think about it. But I post like more dancey stuff. And but I started singing when I was like 9 years old. I was always singing. And I would always make my friends like do shows or like reenact Grease or tons of different musicals. And I was trying to create the Spice Girls,
Yeah.
and like my mom's friends were like, you need to get her into classes, like she needs to be doing this. And so I started taking singing classes when I was like 9 and started
Wow.
playing piano and like writing songs. I definitely don't play piano anymore, like that's for sure. I wish I did.
Yeah.
But, like
So all of our stories, right? I know.
But yeah, so
I know, right?
just,
Why do the piano lessons never stick?
I don't know, but I
You
started
know,
playing
like
guitar,
90%
and
of
that stuck a little more until I got
Okay.
nails.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You're like clink, clink,
Yeah.
Hey,
clink,
Dolly
clink.
Parton does it. You just have to do the one
True.
finger. Just do the tuning where you can just have one finger down.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah.
I need to
you
do
can,
that.
You can do it.
Yeah, it's all about the fashion, guys. So
Yeah.
It's really hard. I actually had my nails cut down 2 weeks ago so that I could start playing the guitar again because that's how I write best.
Yeah.
And so I played guitar for like 2 days, and then my nails grew back out, and then I went back to the nail shop and I didn't ask them to cut them again. I like couldn't do it.
Yeah.
My nails too much.
Anyways, that was like a tangent. But yeah, I started singing when I was 9 and have taken singing lessons like my whole life, really
Right.
consistently. But it's kind of hard to find a really good coach and someone that can coach
Right?
everyone
I
and
know.
coach me
Let's talk more
correctly.
about that.
Yeah, I can talk about that all day.
It's so true. He's not trying to sell you a throat spray or putting 20 books on your stomach
Yeah.
telling you to breathe with
Yeah.
your diaphragm. You're like, what?
Haven't we all heard those stories?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't understand what that is.
Yeah.
Really. It's because it's not even about the belly. It's about the cage.
I know. The rib
Right? About the
cage.
rib cage and cage breathing. And we want to train people to do that. But you really need that in a live element because
Huge.
both of you sing live.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm going to digress a little bit
For sure.
because Annie, this is the first time she's been on LipRoll with us as a guest host. So what's so interesting about the two of you is being singers in all walks of life. Annie, you do and have done a lot of work with David Foster, and you've done a lot of work, doing tracks and things for like huge singers, Celine. So she's got that type of vocal, but you now are in more of a pop girl band, right? You get up and
it was like a country band,
a country pop
girl band.
Yeah.
But we're not together anymore.
I'm not with my girl.
I mean,
that happens.
I had
though.
like 20 people don't do a girl band, and I'm like, but we can do
so
it.
fun.
And then hormones and periods kick in, and you're like, okay, there's a reason why these things don't really last very long.
Our management used to say it was like herding cats.
Yeah,
And it was totally like herding cats.
Right?
Couldn't get us to do anything.
I'm not to say it can't happen. It just makes it a lot harder when there's that. The female energy is very emotional. But anyways, so we digressed. So yeah, I was doing that, but it's just I found it's easier to do your own thing.
Yeah.
It is,
was for
because
me.
then you just report to yourself, really, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having, I find girl groups to be, they have their challenges.
Yeah, but also a lot of positives. Like, it's really nice to not have for me, it's not nice to not have all the focus on you, so all the pressure is not
That's
on
true.
you. And then to have that team, like,
And you
we
can
had
share,
the best glam
tampons.
team.
You don't have not share, but give. Like when you're like that's a nice thing.
important.
No, and girls understand.
Yeah.
Like they get that we need time to get ready before shows. Guys don't get
Absolutely.
that, and they're like, let's go. And I'm like, no, we need time. Only women understand
Well,
what it
yeah.
entails when you get up on stage and what you have to do to prep for that.
For sure. And we used to borrow each other's clothes.
I got to tell you, this was going to remain nameless, but I do have a few guy groups and boy groups where I went into their dressing room. My assistant Ellen and I walked in and we're like, holy shit, what is all this? They had more products than the girls. It was just like all over the desk. I'm like, how much does one boy, one man need?
That's what we call it, a Devo.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a lot. But
I believe
anyway,
that.
yes, you're right. Girls need more, for sure.
What was the question?
Yeah, so
know.
Natasha, we're going to circle it back
Yeah,
to
let's
you.
go back to you.
So did you grow up in the entertainment industry?
I did. So my dad is a comedian and an actor.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that? Oh my God.
See, this is another instance.
Who's your dad?
His name's Bobby Slayton. He was like really big. He's not like so well known
Why
now.
does that sound familiar?
Yeah,
But
no,
he was
Bobby
really big
Slayton.
in like the 80s and 90s, and he's
Oh no, I do know.
like even like Robin Williams and him used to be best friends.
I did
and
not know that was
I think Robin opened up for him a couple times.
Wait a minute.
Back in the
Stop.
day.
I did not know that was your dad.
Yeah, he's like
I had no idea.
he's the pit bull of comedy,
Yes.
quote unquote, and he's like really raunchy, really vulgar.
Yes.
We love
really
it.
inappropriate.
Oh, good. Then we can talk about tampons and all kinds of stuff on
Totally,
this.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
This is the discovery. It's like every time I interview somebody and they're a client of mine, we're always working. So I get little snippets of their life, but we don't really sit down and have coffee talk. You know, like
Totally.
today,
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about, I don't Google my clients. I don't look up
It's
stuff.
probably better though, because then you don't have this like preconceived notion of who they are.
Yeah.
You just get to
Yeah.
know them for them and their talent
Right.
versus letting other factors affect who they are. You know.
Well, I don't think you can train some. At least I can't train
Yeah.
someone if I know. I just want to meet them as a person as I would in my life pre-Instagram,
I
right?
respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
We
when you
also-
train Sia, do you see her face?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
It's really
She's
funny.
gorgeous, by the way.
I bet.
She is gorgeous.
She's gorgeous, and she's
gorgeous.
a beautiful person.
So
Yes,
I
your dad.
grew
Back
up
to you.
around it, but when I was 9 and I started like singing, I also really, really wanted to act, and I just knew from like a really young age that that's what I had to be doing. And
Yeah.
my parents really didn't want me to. They were like, that is not the life we want for our kid. And so I begged and begged and begged, and finally it was really strange because. So I started out in the acting industry when I was like 2, and I used to get all these callbacks, and they were just like, she's really cute, like maybe she'll book a few commercials. I'd get all the callbacks but wouldn't leave my mom's side. So then they were like, okay, let's cut this out right now. But when I was 9 and I was begging my parents to do it again, I was at a friend's house, and my mom walked in when my friend's mom was on the phone, and she was like, hi, Teddy. And the people on the phone, which happened to be my agency from when I was 2, recognized her name and were like, is that Natasha Slayton's mom? And they were like, put her on the phone right now. And they actually begged my mom for me to get back into acting. And that was bizarre because it was like a 7-year gap. I mean, they like knew my dad, so that kind of like made it make more
Yeah.
sense. But it was just, that doesn't happen anymore. So it was really interesting. And then my dad had done a show right before I started acting. And he was like a series regular on this show, and I used to go visit him, and there were 2 little kids on the show. And I was like, I have to do this, I want to do this. Well, 1 year later, when I started acting, I booked one of my first shows. I became a series regular. I had my own parking spot.
What was the show?
It was called Brothers Keeper. It was on TGIF with
Okay.
like Two of a Kind and Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Wow.
But it was on the same sound stage. Like not even just the same backlot, the same soundstage. Stage
That's
42.
amazing.
And like I had my own parking spot, my own dressing room. I was 10.
Yeah, wow, that's a
So
lot.
yeah, so I grew up doing that and like started singing as well.
That's a lot of pressure too.
I just had fun with it. At that age, I didn't
I
know
mean,
what
my
pressure
kids are
was.
10. I can't imagine them having a schedule like that at 10. I mean, you have to grow up really fast.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
It was like so for me.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
No.
You know. So you knew that you wanted to be in the entertainment industry from what age then? You said 2. I mean, did you even
Then
understand?
I didn't know. I
You
had
just
no
didn't
idea. Like
know
my parents just
concept.
threw me into it because they thought I was cute and could maybe be in front of a camera.
Right.
And then I think around like 7 or 8
Yeah.
is when I started dancing and doing competitions before that, but like I really got serious when I was like 7 or 8.
When did you find your voice?
I got really serious when I was 7 and 8 too. I was climbing in the trees in the
sounds
creek
really
behind our
ridiculous,
backyard. I was really serious.
Well, that's, you know what, you had to have been.
She's serious, and I'm like,
it
oh
does.
my
It sounds
god! Like I
ridiculous.
wish I was serious.
So you, but Annie, I keep
I'm
going.
impressed.
Thank you.
I know Annie as Anne Marie, so I want to always call her Anne
me Anne
Marie.
Marie. This
but
is LipRoll. You
But
can do whatever you want.
but Anne Marie, you must have known as well, like at that, because I knew around 8 or 9
Yeah.
that I was,
Amazing.
and I took
Totally,
guitar,
that it's
right?
a vocation, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is
You're
what
like,
I
oh my
need to
God,
do.
I got some
think-
talent.
I think most singers feel that way.
Yeah.
That you just have that instinctive knowing.
Yeah.
when you're
when you
young.
have people you idolize too, and like the Spice Girls had just come out.
Oh my God.
And you know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer just came out on
Yeah.
the air, and that was just like my obsession, even
Yes.
at 8 years old.
I know,
I
me
really
too.
wanted to do that.
I was obsessed with Buffy
You were?
too. Yes.
Diehard
I was
fan.
too old to fall into the trappings of Buffy, but it's okay.
It was like Buffy, Charmed, Xena, Warrior Princess, that whole like it was they
Totally.
were back to back, and I was just obsessed
Everything.
with yeah.
That's
really
amazing.
cool.
So you found your voice pretty young, like the rest of us.
Yeah.
But I do know, because I do know you because of the group as a really good dancer.
Thank
like You're
you.
in classes all the time.
All the
She's
time.
a triple threat.
She's a triple
I
threat.
She
try.
do it all.
So
I
when
try.
did you start dancing?
I started dancing. I mean, my earliest memories of classes were like 4 and 5 years old, and I did like I was at a studio, and I was a studio kid, and did like competitions, and I just kind of grew up doing that. Like I never really got out of it. I took like a couple year breaks here and there, and then when I reached 17, I had taken a couple years off because I was homeschooled, and like it was too hard to like get to all the classes. But I was like, oh my God, I have to dance again. And it was such a great workout. I knew that it was going to prepare me for performing. I love dancing anyway. So it was kind of like, there's all these reasons to do it.
And you did, because you were singing and dancing with all this choreography with Robin's group, with G.R.L, which I thought was a fun time for you guys. And I got to be at some of the rehearsals and watch you go through that. And then sadly we lost one of one of the gals in your group, and so it sort of disbanded after that, right? It just
Lost as in she died, or like lost?
Yes.
Oh, how?
Yeah, she took her own life.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like such a weird thing to talk about because like
It was very weird. It was a very weird time because
How can a band recover from that? It's like after something like that happens, I would think it's
can't.
just like,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm so sorry.
I
Thank
I
you.
think it's an important, not to belabor the issue too much, but it's an important topic for women, because I trained her a little bit. I trained all the girls, and it was very shocking to me. And I think a lot of it was probably over self-love, lack of self-love, perhaps a boy, or a boyfriend, or just having difficulty in this life as a girl, is so difficult. But being in this business as a woman and as a young woman, I can't even imagine the pressure.
Oh my God.
the thing was we all like it's still so hard to talk about, but it's like we all had been going through so much, and we were all so close, and so I mean we can speculate all day on like why she did what she did, but it's like we really don't know at the end of the day.
Nobody really knows what that person is going through, and
And
if they had depression or what they're struggling with. We've had a couple of guests on that really have talked about their, just their station in life and where they are, being bipolar, changing medications, having to deal with that.
Right.
And with this business, it's very hard. People don't realize how difficult this business is.
Yeah, there's so much pressure.
It's pressure, and it's brutal for girls in a different way.
Brutal.
And we were really all going through our own things, and even I had some serious up and down depressions throughout the group. So depression, not depressions.
Yeah, we knew what you meant.
So, you know, we just thought she was going through her own thing. We never saw that coming.
Nobody saw it coming.
At all.
Nobody saw it coming.
And when it happened, we took a break for a while, but we all kept getting together and trying to figure out, like, you know, Simone would have wanted us to move forward, or at least we believe she would have wanted that. You know, we all loved each other so much. And so we got back together and we did like a tribute song to her, and we actually ended up going to Dubai and to Thailand and
I remember
and Australia
that.
again, and we like opened up for Meghan Trainor and did all these really cool things. But after that, it was just kind of like too much.
And it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know, there's that cloud, and you know, you hope that. For me as a teacher, I hope that not only I can deal with my singers on a technical level and an anatomical level, but on an emotional level.
Oh, you're a therapist in lots of ways.
So
I'll
true.
leave her and I'm like, I feel like I just got my voice lesson and therapy,
Absolutely.
like all in one, for sure. Because your voice is not, it's not a guitar. It's not. And it's not a clarinet or a violin. This is a God-given instrument. This is like part of who we are and our physiology. And it's so mental and it's so emotional, you know,
Absolutely.
like that connection to your voice. It's not like a normal instrument that you play.
No, not at all.
So I think that like part of being what you do is so much mental too.
Yeah, well, it's at least 50% of it for most people, you know, and if they mentally stop themselves from just doing a scale because it's so vulnerable, you know,
Right.
it's such a vulnerable thing, but
But you're so great at pushing people, you know, like there's been so many aha moments where she'll just like get me into that place that I never could have gotten to alone in the room doing my own exercises, but she'll get me there. I don't know if you've had that experience
100%.
too.
Yeah, many times. Like every time I'm with Valerie, there's like a whole breakthrough.
Well, thank you,
Every
guys.
single time. Yeah, but we used to take your exercises out on the road with us, and we always used to do them. And
my artists always say, I hear you. I know I haven't seen you in a little while, but you're with me every day.
all the time, yeah.
When Steve Aoki posted him doing some rehab warm-ups because he's got to get on stage every night and yell to the crowd, and you know, he says he would post you know, one of his celebrity friends of the day doing his Val Morehouse warm-ups. It was hilarious. I'm like, at least you're doing them.
Yeah, right.
So I'm happy about that. But
My favorite is when I'm like, I'll be backstage at a show and I'll hear someone doing your exercises and I can hear you like on their laptop. And I'm like,
Really?
wow, they're doing Val there. Like, you're like hearing them. It's so funny. I've had that happen a couple times.
I'm everywhere.
That's amazing.
You can't escape.
She's
I would join in.
omnipotent.
You played the voice of Kate, Natasha,
I
right?
did.
On the Lionhearts.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that was actually like the second thing I ever booked. I think I was like 8 or 9. I booked a couple voiceover roles. So I did something on All Dogs Go to Heaven, and that was kind of like my audition because they knew they liked me, but they're like, this kid is like 8, so we need her to like prove that she can
she's
work.
serious.
I was
She's
so
a serious
serious. I think
8-year-old.
that's the ironic thing because my dad's a comedian, so
Yeah.
I've always been like really serious and like such a hard worker and super focused. But yes, I did the voiceover for Kate for the Lionhearts, and William H. Macy was my dad, and Perry Gilpin from Frasier was my mom, and then like the little kid from Leave It to Beaver was my brother, and so it was just a really fun cast because it was a cartoon about the MGM lion and his family.
Oh, that's so
That's
cute.
really cool.
Yeah, I did that for like 2 years.
Do you think like acting is your future?
I don't know. Like again with the camera thing, like I really have a hard time dealing with being on camera. It feels natural to me. Like I feel fine right now.
Yeah.
The whole watching back
You're
is like
amongst
really
friends.
traumatic. I know.
You're amongst friends.
But I've heard
know.
that so many actors from like Bradley Cooper to
They
Johnny Depp,
don't like watching
they don't watch
themselves.
themselves.
Yeah.
Afterwards, they're like, I don't want to see it. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of actors that they will not watch themselves.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can not watch myself though.
Well, you might be
Someone's
that.
like a
You might be
train
that,
wreck.
that person in the moment where you have a hard time in the moment, but you can watch back and you can critique.
Yeah.
Some people are opposite. I have a couple clients that, you know, they get on stage and they do these huge shows every single night, and they don't watch the performances. They don't watch the TV performance. I watch it for them and give them notes. They just have to move on. They're
Yeah.
like, if I watch it, I'm just going to get in my head and it's done and it's over.
Next.
I kind of think there's a healthy
Yeah.
thing
There
in
is.
that.
But then it's
True.
also hard because it's like you want to learn from whatever. But it's good if you have
That's what
someone
they
like
have
you
me.
watching.
Yeah, I'm like,
then
this
that's-
sucked. That was great. I don't know. Whatever. Moving on.
Totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I think
It sounds like you're a perfectionist too, which I am too, so
perfectionist.
I can identify with that. And you want to see the performance. Also, if you're a dancer too, you want to see the movements, I'm sure, of what that looked like, because that's the only way to improve.
Yeah, exactly.
As a dancer, you know?
Right. And I think the more you do it, the older, really just the older and more mature you get as a person, the more you'll sit into yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you'll be okay with it.
Yeah, I only recently started even posting dance videos.
Yeah.
Just like finally
cool.
okay with.
One of the things that I'll tell you, and that doesn't happen for all people, but it happens for many people, which we had an interview earlier, and I was talking to our two guests. We all have kids.
Yeah.
When you have a child, it takes you off of yourself in some incredible way where you can't be anxious anymore. You're just, everything that you do is for that kid, and so you're not that important anymore.
Yeah, I like that.
You're just not that.
Not ready for kids, but it sounds
yeah.
like a good reason to have
I was just
them.
talking to a mom with a 3-month-old at an audition earlier, and she said that she's never worked more in the last like 3 months.
Yeah.
It's been 3 months, and she's like, I've never booked
Wow.
more stuff
It's
or been
true.
busier in the last 3 months. She's like, I don't know what it is. It's just I show up for everything. I don't even have time to really like over prepare like I used to.
That's the
I'm not
key.
even thinking about it. I just go and do the work, and I'm booked like crazy. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're in
she's
the
bringing
moment.
her kid like in this. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
How
well, it's
amazing.
authentic, and you're just connected, and you're not thinking. You're just like showing up, doing your work, and then that's it.
Totally.
It takes you off of yourself. You know,
Yeah.
you'll get more used to that. I just said that to a client of mine not long ago who's
Me.
in one
She
of the
was
biggest.
telling me to have a baby like a week
You
ago.
too.
And I'm like,
She's telling
hold
everyone
on.
to have
First I need to like
babies.
find the guy to have the baby
But I was
with.
saying to you that it's not a career ender.
And I think a lot of women view it that way. I think that's the truth. Is that
Yeah.
you're like, oh, if I have a kid, it's over. You know,
Yeah, I
like
see it more
It's
like
really not.
Yeah.
It's really, that's when things start to begin and start to roll, because everything that you do is for
Start
that
to roll.
person. LipRoll.
Start to LipRoll.
a little shameless plug there. So you know, you just finding your voice and letting it be what it is, and
Yeah.
not worrying. It just takes you off of yourself.
Yeah.
And I said that to a client of mine about being off yourself, and I said to this particular person, I said, you know, you're just not that powerful. You're not that important.
Yes.
Nobody's walking away thinking, oh, so and so thinks that I'm a jerk or whatever. No, you're
They're
not
not even
that
thinking
special.
about you, right?
They've moved on. They're too selfish to be thinking about you. They're thinking about their day.
Yeah, it's such good advice.
So
Yeah.
I'm curious with you. Okay, this is so cool just hearing everything that you've done. I'm so impressed, and I'm like genuinely want to know what's next. So I'm like, what is she working on? What is she doing next?
Well, I'm working on a couple of projects. One thing I'm really excited about is I am recording music finally, which is
Cool.
really awesome because like after we lost Simone, like not even a year and a half later, I lost my mom really suddenly.
oh my god, I'm
So,
so sorry.
Yeah, I
Thank
remember
you.
that. So
And we were like best friends, and so it was really hard for me to be creative. And then not only that, but after the group disbanded, I was like scammering for ways to make money. Like I had so I was like on unemployment, and I was like trying to get work anywhere I could.
Yeah.
And so music was really kind of on the back burner for me. So
Yeah.
finally starting to work on music again, which I'm really excited about. And I'm also working on a secret project I can't talk about yet, but I hope to come back and be
I know
able to
we
talk
were just talking about
about.
this off camera,
that's so
right?
cool.
Off air. That we'll have you back to talk about it, because it's going to
Yeah.
be very interesting, people. So for those
I'm
of you,
excited.
it'll be we can't divulge any details, but it's going to be a really interesting show.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
just
so
leave
excited.
it at that.
I wish I could talk about it.
I
So
do.
frustrating.
I know it is frustrating, but there's always another time. So so sort of bouncing off of that, for all those people out there that want to be a singer, an actor, an artist, what are the acting do's and don'ts? Are there any as far as auditioning?
Auditioning? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I've been out of the auditioning game for like a solid 8 years now.
Okay.
So I think things have changed a lot.
She's
I think
like, I don't go unless I get the call for the callback.
Is it producers?
I actually used to
callback?
get those calls.
She's like, if it's the call for the callback, I'm in.
No, I just don't have an agency anymore. I just kind of wanted to focus on music, but
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is just to really study your craft. I think like
Yeah.
singing, acting is also a muscle that you have
It
to
is.
build. And so
Yeah.
if you're not coaching and you're not working at your craft, you're not studying and trying to get better, then that's a huge mistake I see a lot of people making. I mean, there's a lot of people that are just born with raw talent, and that's cool. But I think it's really important.
Up to you too.
It does. It does, and it's limiting.
It is limiting.
It's limiting. So I think it's really important to always study your craft, and that goes for singers too.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing.
Like you said, it's a muscle, and you're an athlete, and you have to put the time in. Otherwise, like an athlete, you're going to get annihilated at some point. Even with natural raw talent, you have to have that. So not being lazy. I find we're in a generation of people that are very lazy.
Yeah.
Millennials, sorry guys, but you know, a lot. It's not everybody. I'm not putting anybody in a basket. I'm just saying that there's a thing now where you guys, this generation feels very paralyzed for a lot of reasons.
And entitled, and like there's no grit.
There's so much instant gratification like available at your fingertips that you know, people feel like they don't need to work for anything.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge mistake.
And that's the entitlement, Anne-Marie, that you're talking about. Yeah.
And I honestly think it's interesting because lately I've just been putting my energy into so many different things, and I feel like when you put your energy into something, if it's focused and you have an intent behind it and you're working really hard at something, it doesn't necessarily come back to you in the way you think it's going to.
It's not immediate, but
the
it
energy
will.
does come back to you. Like even I submitted myself for a couple of jobs like last week. I think there was like 10 or 15 different ones, and like none of them came back, but I got 3 different things coming in that were like not related. And I feel like it's only connected, like universally, the energy. You know, I know some people don't believe in that, but I really think it's such a thing.
Quote,
I do.
I'm on a Tony Robbins kick because I went to his thing. But he says where attention goes, energy flows.
Absolutely.
And it's so true. It's like when you start, and the issue is I think so many of us are focused on like, it's going to go in flames and I'm never going to get what I want. So you're focused on what you don't want, and then like more of that happens.
Yeah. Right.
No one makes time to actually think about what they want.
Exactly.
And just go in that direction, because it's going to come in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not how you think, but at least you're going towards what you want.
Absolutely. And you're not just thinking about it, but actually doing the steps.
Yeah,
for sure. Because you've got to put in the actual work and not just sit there and be like, well, if I think about this and I dream about it really hard, which is an important part of the process, don't get me wrong.
You have to be in action.
You actually,
You have to be in action constantly. And speaking of actions, 2019, we're here. What are your goals?
I really want to put out an album, or at least an EP. I know it's all about singles these days, so I would just like to put out more music. Like that's such a goal of mine. I definitely want to do a music video finally. I've never done. I did a music video on my own.
And I'm like, you have to.
Thank you.
Well, we know a few people that can shoot music videos, so
I'm like, you dance.
I'm staring at my team here.
Yeah, I really want to do one.
I saw the videos that they did. They're so good.
They're really good.
No, you should definitely hire them.
That would be.
I'm kidding.
I'm so down. Yeah, I really want to do that. It's just like about putting those plans in action, like we were just talking about.
But you saying that right now, that right there is like taking you I think you have to say out loud and tell people. Like, it was so weird. I had a goal. I wanted to have a goal for this year, and I just told 2 people, and it was like already one thing came where I was like, oh my God, just because I spoke it to someone. So there's power in you just saying that right now. Like, you know,
you're not going to jinx it. You're going to energize it.
Totally. And I'm excited to start that new project that I told you I was working on.
We can't wait. We are going to have you back and have you talk about that. It'll be really fun.
You should merge the two. Is there any way to combine those?
They're combining.
That'd be really cool to do that and show that process.
Yeah.
And you know, you going with everything with like your bandmate and the band and your mom, I feel like those are the things that build people to have those stories and that compelling whatever it is that people just gravitate towards. It's true. And it's like, I can see like that depth in you, and it's like people love that, and I think they're craving for that.
Well, it's also too, just to jump on that, it's being authentic. There's an authenticity about you, because you at the top of the show said you were really nervous, and I think people are going to find that charming, because they'll say, oh, it's not just me, like, look, she's really nervous too. And you know, so I think being real and being transparent is organic and authentic. So where can your audience find you?
So on Instagram, I'm at Natasha Slayton, and on Twitter, I just changed it and lost my verification badge, so I'm pretty upset about this because I didn't know that was going to happen. But it's at Natasha T Slayton.
Okay.
It used to be at G.R.L. Natasha. I thought I was changing it, and it would be like a better kind of, not a good idea.
We just had this conversation again with my last 2 guests. It was this whole rant when I asked for where I could find you was Kyle. And it was pretty funny. And we went on to a full rant about Instagram and like our names and having 2 different names. And it's so confusing.
So I know it is confusing, but those are the 2 places. My website's not up yet, but that's where you can find
I
me.
can't wait to hear.
Now, like, no one even goes. I feel like Instagram is the new website.
For sure.
Like, everyone knows what you do via your
sure.
Instagram. I'm like, how many people actually go to my website?
Yeah, do I need a website?
I don't even know if I do. I've been thinking about this. I'm like, I don't know if like I should be paying for
Is
this.
search engine optimization important anymore?
Ooh,
I don't know.
It is for Google because your images come up. So if you want like the best
Right.
images to come up, it's really good to have a website so that your SEO person can tag the keywords to make your favorite images come up.
That's very important information that I
really
need.
important.
I'm manipulative like that.
Natasha, it has been so nice having you. Thank you for joining us on LipRoll today.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story.
And Annie, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
We
So
love
inspiring.
you guys. We'll have you on again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back to LipRoll. I'm your host, Valerie Morehouse.
Yay! And we just had an amazing episode. I loved the episode with Natasha.
We did.
And Annie, you crushed it as
You
guest
crushed
host.
it,
Because I'm wearing yellow.
She did. She's like been doing this
color.
for years.
I enjoy it. I'm obsessed with watching interviews and Oprah. Like I've always been obsessed with watching interviews because I'm just fascinated by people and their stories.
I'm
So it's
fascinated
fun.
that the 2 of you wore yellow today.
I just think, we just feeling the power of
And
the
that
sun.
I could just
We're
not
in
pull
sync.
that shirt off, Ella. It's like this big thing where you can't move.
No, it's like. but I have to say, just listening to Natasha's story and everything, I think one of the things that really stuck out to me was when she was talking about the auditioning do's and don'ts.
Yes.
Because when you ask that question, so many different things had come out. And I think I just loved how she was like, you've got to work on your craft.
Yeah.
And I see that all the time with people, including myself, where I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that. Like she mentioned her dad's a comedian. I was like, I'd love to be a
I never
stand-up
put 2 and 2
comedian.
together till
but
she
never
told.
worked
I
on
know
it.
who Bobby
Yeah.
Slayton is, but I have all these years I've known her. I had no idea. I'm like, oh my God, I'm having a light bulb moment in the interview. That's your dad. Yeah,
so
she was
cool.
very vulnerable and very genuine, and I really love that and appreciate that about her.
Me
So
too.
she's a great interview.
Great
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah,
And an amazing story.
And you were great. You like really pulled some stuff out of her.
I enjoy doing that. I just like being real and asking like the questions that I think people are afraid to ask sometimes,
Right.
I mean, I could tell she was willing and I could tell that but I
Yeah,
don't
it was
know.
a comfort
No,
level.
I felt like there was a really good synergy between all of you, and I'm just really excited because hopefully we can have her back on the show when she can,
talk about her
show
projects,
that
yes.
we're like, we want to know more.
Yeah.
But we've got to wait. But it would be really cool. So in the meantime, though, we want everyone to go on and subscribe.
Right.
The subscribe calling, and so we have YouTube. And are you following us on Instagram?
Instagram,
Annie?
following all
yes,
the lip rolls.
Okay, great.
I do it all the time.
Little
yeah.
lip roll.
Do another lip roll right there.
We love that.
Yay.
There you go. That's an actual lip roll, guys. There we go.
Right there. That's cool. And then we've obviously got Twitter
and
Spotify, Apple. And it's super fun because on YouTube we've got that little bell right there when you subscribe, and you'll be like the first to know.
Yeah, you'll know when we start. If you ring that bell, you'll know when we're uploading content.
Yeah,
so that's really
awesome.
important.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
This
you,
was so
Annie.
fun.
Thank
so
you.
great. Super fun. All right. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.